Well, hi folks, here we are, Monday, October 26th. Just everyone's fine. And everybody's doing well. There is, again, we'll have several links in the description. And if you have a mind to, there's some good information there. You know, there's a line or a couple of lines that have been attributed to Churchill, but there's no verification, and who knows who said this, who wrote them. But the quotations go something like, "I no longer listen to what people say. I just watch what they do. Behavior never lies." So that's the whole grist of this whole sort of situation. I think we start off with the Great Reset and some other philosophies. And I know there's a lot of people still think this is a conspiracy and that's not happening. Hey, but you got to get those people who believe that are going to have to get their heads out of the sand, because they're going to get kicked in the ass so hard when it happens. You know, and I think, right, I'm not sure, it could be too late, but I think people should stand up and start really thinking about this and disagreeing with the powers that be. Because the reset is sickening. You know, there's I think in one of the links you'll see Schwab. And here's an interesting thing about Schwab, Klaus Schwab. Now, he was born in Germany. Now think about that. He was born in Germany in the 30s, late 30s. And he's been a professor most of his life, an intellectual. And you know, some intellectuals don't know shit. And just watch this stuff and just tell me what you think. If you think this guy is brilliant, you know, that's the problem with our world today. A lot of these idiots are sort of teaching young people, and they get turned out, cookie cutter, come out and with the crazy ideas. And the thing is, you will own nothing, and you'll be happy about it. And that's crazy. Now you gotta watch this stuff. It's crazy. And we have George Gammon giving you some response to that in one of his Q&As. Who's George Gammon? By the time I think he was 34, he was retired and is making his way in business. He's an entrepreneur, investor, and he's got some cool things to say. And one of those young, I think he's about 45, but one of those young people who is interesting to listen to. He's sort of a no-nonsense type of guy. And there's a few of them out there, you know. There's a lot of idiots, but then there's some of these guys. And I noticed, you know, people's behavior never lies. And when you think of democratic cities, and we're saying this because there are elections coming up in, 8 days? Democratic cities, democratic states, democratic governors and mayors, what are they doing, or what have they done? It's interesting. It's totally interesting. And there was a rally in New York a couple days ago, and it was Jews for Trump, and they were in a motorcade because you can't, you know, you got social distance and all that, the Wuhan alt stuff still going on. But as you watch, there's a couple of videos that I've in the link that some of the links I've posted, and people were pelting this motorcade with eggs, rocks, bottles, trying to stop this motorcade. And I thought, wow, does it remind you of another country in the previous middle of the previous century? I mean, here's a group of people trying to make a statement, and they're being treated like criminals. Why? Now, these are the people throwing the crap are the people who are anti-racist and for democracy. So you can't listen to what these assholes say. You've got to watch what they do. And if you watch that and you say, well, yes, they are not racist people and they are all for democracy, oh God, we're in a different planet. And then there was another incident that I'm finding intriguing. 3 nuns went to a Trump rally and they wore a mask that said, "Make America Great Again." And some clown who was a Republican or whatever, you can click on the link. You can look at his Twitter feed and listen to what he did. But he got totally upset about that. Claims I don't know if he's a Republican, ex-Republican. I'm not sure what this idiot is. Lives in California, so that probably explains it. But he did a tweet where he sort of unmasked who these nuns were, where they're pointed out which ones they were, being a real, what would you call it? A real guy who really believes in democracy, freedom of religion, blah, blah, blah. Make up your own mind. When you gotta click on the links and follow it through. I can, explain it, but then you get my nuances. Read it yourself and see what you think. It's, and again in New York, some cop made a comment that he was for Trump. There's a link in there as well. Now de Blasio says he's going to deal with this seriously. Now here's de Blasio. He's a Democrat mayor. He's all for democracy. He's all for freedom of expression. He's all for blah, blah, blah. He's an idiot. I think the Jeffrey Toobin incident sort of really frames all these people well. And if you don't know about the Jeffrey Toobin incident, the idiot political advisor on CNN, check it out. I mean, these guys are all jerks. I mean, and of course, how are we finishing? Well, Hilary is still at it. She did an interview on Sway, where she was born to be president. She's one of these people figures. She's appointed by God, I suppose. Another idiot. When you listen to what Hilary says and watch what she has done, from the great craziness that her and Bill carried off in Arkansas when they were younger, to all of the shit they have done since then. All the crap they have done since then. Behavior never lies. And she should get on the room's broom and keep flying around, because it's sort of crazy. And I suppose that's all I should say about that, because we'll join all the other. Another video will be pulled off the air. But this is also on BitChute, where it doesn't get pulled off. You just got to go to BitChute, Dream and Do, and you'll find us there. But anyway, that's about all for today. Of course, there's one more link up in the top section, and it's James Corbett answering a question, where do I run to? And just to add to what he says, I don't think we should be running to anywhere. Obviously, if you're in a really bad place, you want to get to a place where you can at least stand up and say what you feel and do some work. But I think everybody in every country has got to stand up and say, look, enough of this crap. Now, I don't mean go burning buildings and doing all the stuff that the Democrats do. All these freedom-loving, non-racist, peace-loving, democracy evangelists in the States are doing. You don't want to do that. But we should write to every MP, every MLA, and talk to every bureaucrat, and don't be bashful about it. See, all of these people who figure they know what they're doing, they all have an education. but they only know what they've been educated, what they've been schooled to know. And if you know a little bit about history, you can sit down with any one of these clowns and just put that on the scales and show them where they're going to. No, it's childish, and it's very immature, and it's just stupid to think that you can go into a place where you own nothing and you'll be happy about it. Didn't Mao say that to all of the uneducated farmers and people in China? Got all that class, the uneducated class, all roused up with this idea of a utopia. Well, it never really happened. It wasn't. Stalin did the same thing. It's sort of. It's just a young. And again, you can't blame these young people, because a lot of young people just don't really believe this. They have educated themselves in spite of our school systems, and they realize what's going on. And so it's not just young people who are all excited about this utopia, some older folks as well, who I guess some people figure, well, I'm at the end, almost at the end, who cares, who gives a shit, just send me a couple $100 and I'm okay. Even if I don't own anything, I'm not going to be here long. But they're not thinking about their children, their grandchildren, their great-grandchildren in the future. And aren't we here to be all these people who tie yellow ribbons around things? Aren't we here to be guardians of the planet in the future, and our children's future? Well, that attitude sort of, again, you can't listen to what people say, because they're not. What people do doesn't lie. Their actions don't lie. And so we'll leave it at that. We'll see. In British Columbia, we have a new Democratic government. I think the Liberal leader is going to make an announcement at 2 or has a press conference. That'll be interesting. I imagine he's going to go on to other things. That's what I'm thinking. So somebody out there who is looking for something to do, hey, that party is going to need a dynamic leader. Yeah, a dynamic leader. They're going to need somebody who can stand up and talk to people, get people excited, point out the rationale. Someone who you can follow because of what they do, not because of what they say. And all of these links that are on here, you'll notice that mainstream media, the talking heads, aren't saying anything. A lot of politicians aren't commenting on this. Why? Because they're in on the damn thing. And you got to ask some of those millionaire talking heads, are you going to give up all your crap and own nothing? Hey, Zuckerberg, you're going to give up your billions and all your fancy places and yachts and own nothing. Hey, de Blasio, you giving up all your shit and going to own nothing. Hey, Clinton, are you going to give up all your crap and own nothing? What about Bezos? Are you going to give up all your crap and own nothing? Of course they're not. Klaus Schwab, are you going to give up all your crap and own nothing? Of course he's not. Gates, are you going to give up all your mansions and big yachts and own nothing? Of course they're not. I mean, it's stupid and childish to think that everybody else should do that. Now, if nobody owns anything, who do you rent from? Who do you rent your shack from if nobody owns anything? Somebody owns it, and you can bet your sweet tootsies that the people on top are going to own everything. You just look at China. Do any members of that CCP party are they wanting for anything? Of course they're not. Of course they're not. But anyway. What people do, it doesn't lie. What they say is a whole other thing. Take care. Bye for now, and we'll see you tomorrow.